So are the Nephilim only giants, or do you think that through your research you have found some other groups or subgroups to be? Because there are people who believe that different cryptids, like shifters or Bigfoot or whatever, they could potentially belong to this group of Nephilim. Do you agree with them, or would you say that Nephilim were simply giants, men of renown, mighty warriors of old?
That's an interesting question, and it's tough because these creatures that we hear about and that some people have encountered uh, are very elusive. We don't get to study them in any detail. As far as what the biblical text can support, uh, I think that the Nephilim were uh, really just the product of these human and angelic interactions, um, and I guess could be spoken of as a subspecies of humans in a sense. When you get into cryptids and stuff, I tend to think that it's more likely that those things came about afterward as a result of further interactions, perhaps caused by um, demonic influence, and perhaps as the result of the use of witchcraft and that sort of thing. Um, there are people who will say that there's this idea that the fallen angels bred with animals and that as well, not just humans. Um, Having looked into that, I wouldn't agree because the idea of angels sinning against animals in the text that's quoted for that. I think there's a quote in Jasher, which is not a reliable text. It's like 17th century. It's a forgery named after a book that the Bible refers to, but we don't have that early source. There's also a reference in Jubilees, and all this stuff is built on what came from First Enoch, which is an elaboration on Genesis 6. So we bring it all back to the original source, and we don't actually have this idea of angelic interbreeding with animals. What we do have is people consuming animals, um, and basically just ravaging the land by consuming all the resources that people had. That at least that's the way it's put in First Enoch. The idea that sinning against the animals is in the context of eating everything, and so I don't see justification for the idea of angelic interbreeding or crossbreeding with animals. So I think the Nephilim are distinct as a subhuman group, if you want to put technical terms on it. As far as cryptids and other things go, I think we need to look further into later influences of the supernatural and the occult and stuff like that.